Hello, we are kicking things off Marathon Week here at the Nike Digital Studio. I am Jes Woods, your tempo host for the week, and we are joined by Colin Mickow. Colin Mickow is a local elite athlete here in Chicago, currently running for the Nike-backed Second City Track Club. And I'm just gonna kick things off with all of your stats first because you had a massively impressive, I'm gonna go back to 2020. I feel like 2020 for you was just one heck of a year. And it started off with, correct me if I'm wrong, started off in January running a personal best in the half marathon at the Houston Half Marathon.
Yep.
And then of course, he ran the Olympic trials in Atlanta in February, placing 15th overall, running a 2:13 and change. Mm-hmm. And then, I'm just going to toot his own horn for him here. And then the big finale of 2020, I feel like was the race of your life so far. The Marathon Project running a 2:11 and change.
That's right.
Massive year in 2020, hoping to have an even bigger year in 2021. You have some big goals. I hear that you have your sights set on at least a 2:10 marathon this weekend. Can you confirm or deny that?
I don't know if I'm that focused on the time exactly. It's more about just competing. Just want to go out there and run well. I'd be happy with the 2:10, but I don't focus on the time that much usually when I race.
Really? And is that like your normal race strategy, or has that changed this weekend because of the race conditions, where I feel like every time we open up the weather app, it's just getting worse and worse this weekend?
I would say it's my normal strategy. The only time I really can think of that I focused a lot on the time was my first marathon ever, because I didn't really know what to expect. So I didn't want to go out like way too fast.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to make sure I qualified for the trials.
So you qualified for the trials in your first marathon ever?
Yeah, that was 2019 Chicago. So I went out. I don't know. We had to run a sub 2:18 or 19.
Yeah.
So I thought I would start that pace, but it felt pretty good. So I ended up running the A standard in that one. But I thought I was going to pay attention to the time.
So casually. Okay, so I did not know that 2019 was your first marathon ever. So that is somewhat recent. The marathon wasn't always your thing. Can you talk about what inspired you to get into this distance? How and when did you transition from your collegiate career to now the marathon distance?
So after college, I stopped competitive running. Took 6 years off. Just ran and lifted to work out. And then I don't know. I started wanting to run again, and running more and more. I did, 30 minutes probably after college for a while. Got up to maybe an hour. Started doing doubles. Just started liking running more and more. Cut out the lifting, and just as I built my mileage up, I wanted to start racing.
And this was all self-coached? This was all just
Yeah.
kind of you falling in love with the sport of running again, it sounds like.
Yeah, I guess so. I wasn't doing any workouts, just doing more miles. And there was a half marathon in Naperville, Illinois, where I used to live. The start was maybe half a mile from where I lived, so I wanted to win that. So 2018, I went out and ran that, ran by myself. At that point, my mileage was maybe 70, 80 a week. And I wasn't doing any workouts, like I said, so I wasn't really training for it, but I ran a 107. And so I was like, if I actually train, I could maybe be all right at this.
So this is pretty recent, Second City Track Club.
Yeah, it's a year and a half or so, year and change.
And do you think you've found your niche? The marathon is it?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly enjoy the marathon. I enjoy training for it. I want to keep getting better.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so how has your training and prep changed since you started off? It sounds like just like casually running a lot of miles and building up your mileage, but then kind of more specifically, how has your training differed this time around versus when you were building up for the trials?
Yeah, so the trials, so I was still on my own. So I still wasn't really doing workouts. Like I didn't do any intervals or anything. The closest thing to a workout was at the end of runs, I would speed up to 5:30 or 5:15 or so for the last 5 or 4 miles, something like that. And I would do really long runs. Like I did run a marathon every weekend, which I still do. But now the big difference is that I'm doing more workouts. So I have guys to run with. That was a big reason I wanted to join the team. It was a lot of miles by myself.
My athletes that are listening right now who might only get up to like 18, 20 miles before the marathon, you are running a handful of marathons in your training leading up to the marathon. Is that correct?
Yeah. So for my long run on the weekend, I usually like to do about the distance I'm going to race is my thought around it. So I run a marathon.
Yeah, this is not relatable, but I like hearing about it.
Yeah, I mean that's what I did when I was on my own, and that's what I do now. There's a couple other guys on the team that have started to do it too. So yeah, 26 Saturday. So this build-up was a little bit different than the trials. The trials I spaced out my longer runs a little more. This was more condensed. Saturday I usually did a marathon. Then Sunday I usually did 20 plus. Then Monday would be 18 in the morning. And all of them I sped up, at the end to not quite marathon pace, but low 5s. And then I'd run 6 miles after for my double on Monday, but that would be easy.
Do you have anything that you do for fun outside of running?
Sure, yeah. My wife's pregnant with a baby boy due in March.
Yay, congratulations.
Thank you.
So that's going to be a fun new work-life training balance. That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can still fit running in. It'll be a lot.
Yeah, I don't think you're the first to do it, so I'm sure
Right.
you'll be able to figure it out. And what you've told me about your wife, she sounds amazing. So.
Oh yeah. She's a preschool director, so she's really good with kids. So I'm hoping to bank on that a little bit when I have to go out for a run.
Yes. Oh, well, I'm so happy for you guys. Congrats.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about maybe the running scene in Chicago, or like, are you familiar with any of the other run clubs, crews outside of Second City? Like, what is it like running with Second City, and what does the running scene look like in Chicago in general?
I think it's a good scene. So I don't really live in Chicago proper, but in the greater Chicago area, there's a few other running clubs, which are, I think, pretty big. I think there's definitely a good community in Chicago for running. Second City, though, is, we have a lot of really good marathoners that have joined the team. So it gives me guys I can work out with, guys I can run with. So that's, I think, my best fit.
Have you ever raced in similar conditions like what we're maybe seeing this weekend?
No. I'm trying to think. I've done 3
maybe
marathons.
ignorance is bliss in this situation.
I've raced 3 marathons. It was, I think, in the 50s for all 3.
Okay.
So this will be different.
This will be different, some new territory.
I've run in a lot of hot weather on those Saturday marathons, though.
Okay.
So I don't know. I know it gets harder when it's hot, but whatever.
So no specific race strategy changes for this Sunday based on?
Just compete. That's it.
Are you like a lead from the front kind of guy?
Usually I am.
Are you running with anyone from your club this Sunday?
There's nothing planned for sure with that. There's a guy that might try to go with us. I'm not sure. I guess as far as the biggest strategy would just be, I'm hoping there's like an American chase pack or something along those lines, and just go with them. is kind of the plan.
I like it.
As long as it's nothing crazy or too slow. And then as far as leading, I do tend to lead whatever group I'm in. I like doing that, so I'm not totally against that necessarily, but I would like to see what it's like to not lead a lot of it. Like I said, I've only run 3, and the first one was kind of reserved to get that Olympic trials time, and then the other 2 was crash and burn. So I'm hoping it's not like that again. Usually by the last 10K, I've, not had the kick I want, I'll say. So hopefully I can do better with that this time.
So you consider your Atlanta performance and the marathon project crash and burn?
Not crash and burn, but I was rolling through 20 or whatever, around 20. I think the Atlanta was a little earlier, 18 or so, and then the wheels kind of came off in both.
Run until the wheels come off. Okay, so that's
what I've
that's
been
the
doing.
Strategy for Sunday?
No, this time I hope the wheels don't come off. I hope I have a good finish this time.
Okay.
And we've kind of trained a little differently for that, a little quicker stuff. So like a tempo, and then rather than just being done after I do the tempo, maybe throw in some quicker stuff to run on tired legs, basically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some like combo workouts.
Yeah.
I love
Because
that.
that seems to be something that happens to me towards when you're supposed to be kicking. I'm not so far.
Okay, that makes sense. So the focus is on fast finish this time, fast finish on tired legs.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. And if you could give, it doesn't have to be about the course, but if you have any like last minute advice for our marathoners who are watching, like whether it's like mental prep, what to do the days before, whether it's race day itself, if you could brainstorm some last minute advice to give to our racers who are watching.
At this point, it's 3 days away. I just focus on relaxing. Don't do anything difficult. I'm not sure what the science behind it is, but I still do the carbo load thing with the pasta before all that.
What's the pre-race meal?
Just some sort of pasta, and then I'll usually throw chicken in or something like that for protein.
Classic.
Yeah.
So you want them to chill, relax, don't do too much.
Yeah, that's what I do. Try not to stress.
Fastest marathon long run in training, if you had to guess, off the top of your head.
2:36.
See, you do know.
I think it maybe was that. I don't know 100%.
And you recently raced a half marathon, yes? Did you race a half marathon a few weeks ago?
About a month ago, I think.
Gotcha. Yeah. And was that like a fitness check? Was that just another workout, just another long run? How did that half marathon go?
It was sort of both. I mean, if it wasn't a fitness check, I don't know if it was that, because if it didn't go well, I wouldn't cared that much. But so I guess you could call it more of a workout was the idea. It went well. It was, we started kind of slow first couple miles, where I think the first one was 5, and then the second one was still around 5, and just progressed the next couple miles to get a little bit faster, and then just kind of held, I don't know, maybe high 4:40s or something like that. But yeah, it was good. The course has a lot of turns, so I wasn't focused on the overall time that much.
This is
kinda
the
out by
theme that
myself.
I'm gathering from you, is not focusing on the time too much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to run for time that much. If it's there, it's there.
Yeah.
If you compete, it usually will be there. You'll have a good time.
Love it. So that was a confidence builder for you? We're feeling good for Sunday?
Yeah, I feel great.
Awesome. Well, we are excited to watch. I'm excited to watch for sure. And I will be sure to yell and megaphone and cowbell so that you see us along the course for sure.
Awesome. Appreciate
It's
it.
going to be fun to watch. All right, guys, thank you for joining us, and be sure to keep watching and tuning in for more amazing interviews this week.